The Moors, the Africans who ruled Europe for 700 years. 700 years. That's how long a dynasty of African rulers, known as the Moors, reigned over parts of Europe. A civilization that brought light, science, and culture to a continent once lost in the Dark Ages. This is the untold story of the Moors, the Africans who ruled Europe. In the year 711 AD, a Berber general named Tariq ibn Ziyad crossed the Strait of Gibraltar with an army from North Africa. He named the mountain where they landed Jabal Tariq, the Mountain of Tariq. Today, we call it Gibraltar. His army defeated the Visigothic king of Spain, and what followed was the birth of Al-Andalus, a new African Islamic civilization in Europe. Under Moors, southern Spain flourished. Cities like Córdoba, Granada, and Seville became centers of art, science, and architecture. While most of Europe lived in cold stone castles and superstition, the Moors built libraries, gardens, and observatories. Córdoba alone had streetlights, paved roads, and over 600 public baths, at a time when London was still a muddy village. The Moors introduced mathematics, astronomy, medicine, philosophy, and irrigation, laying the foundation for what Europe would later call the Renaissance. The Moors were not one people. They were a blend of Berbers, Arabs, and black Africans from across the Sahara. They came from powerful regions like Mali, Morocco, Senegal, and Mauritania, united by faith and learning. They wore silk and cotton, while Europe dressed in wool. They bathed daily when others feared water. They read and wrote when many nobles could not. In their cities, Jews, Christians, and Muslims lived together, learning, trading, and debating freely. It was a world centuries ahead of its time. But like all empires, the Moorish rule began to crumble. Rivalries grew between kingdoms. Europe's Christian forces united under the banner of the Reconquista, the Reconquest. In 1492, the last Moorish stronghold, Granada, fell to the Spanish monarchs Ferdinand and Isabella. The Moors were expelled, their libraries burned, their scholars silenced. And with them, much of Europe's greatest early knowledge disappeared into ash. Yet the traces of the Moors remain everywhere. In Spain's architecture, the arches of the Alhambra, the courtyards of Seville, the patterns of Granada. In language, over 4,000 Spanish words come from Arabic, including algebra, alcohol, sugar, and cotton. And in memory, the story of how Africa once brought enlightenment to Europe, a history that was later buried, rewritten, or forgotten. For 7 centuries, the Moors ruled, not with chains, but with knowledge, culture, and science. Their story is not one of conquest alone. It's a reminder that civilization has no color, and that history is not always written by those who built the light, but by those who survived its glow. Because every kingdom that was once unwritten still lives. Please follow for more interesting content like this.